Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the latest episode of Cardistry News, where we bring you the latest news in the cardistry community. I am your host, Adam Isaac, and I will be doing the recording for this week as our co-host, SY, unfortunately has some technical difficulties happening this week. Before we get into our first story, we wanted to thank all of you guys for getting us to over 100 subscribers this past week. It really does help out our channel a lot, and we look forward to growing with you guys and the rest of the community. So make sure to follow our Instagram for daily news updates at Cardistry News. And right now we'll go ahead and get into our first story. So our first story is a small continuation from last week's episode in regards to companies and role models doing what they can to contribute to the Black Lives Matter movement. Goose Cards, as introduced in episode 2 of our Cardistry Recap, has made the decision to now donate all of their profits to the NAACP. This is the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. As far as we know, this initiative is still going on, and there are still decks available on their website at $10 a deck. So we want to give a huge shout out to Goose Cards for doing so, especially as a new company with their premier deck. In other news, we have the Australia Souvenirs by Anyone Worldwide. This was a deck released for pre-order and was created with the intent to fund the relief efforts for the wildfires that were happening in Australia at the time. Despite these good intentions, a lot of people are becoming upset with the amount of time that has passed since the pre-order before receiving their decks. In defense of Anyone Worldwide, with the height of the pandemic, many card printers and distributors had to postpone decks from being printed and released. The good news, however, is that Anyone has announced that the shipping has started this week on Monday, so it shouldn't be too long before we start seeing the decks in everyone's hands. Next, we have the Goblin Gold Edition by Gemini Decks, the second deck in the Goblin line by Gemini playing cards featuring a borderless design designed to accentuate every possible fan. The deck is made with a metallic gold ink on the backs, the faces, as well as the tuck case. The decks are currently still available on their website at $11.95 a deck and are printed by the United States Playing Card Company. Next, we have the release of Offsets by Cardistry Touch. Cardistry Touch has always pushed the boundaries in regards to modern cardistry design, and that has not stopped with the latest release. They took inspiration from misprinted decks and pushed that to their advantage by using arrows to push the offsets in different directions to influence and accentuate your card flourishes. The colors of the deck were chosen to complement the streetwear aesthetic that a lot of the cardistry community has adopted throughout the years. The decks are available for pre-order on their website at €14.95 a deck and will be printed with the United States Playing Card Company. They have also released 2 new cardistry tutorials on their YouTube channel, one by Dimitri called Lucky and one by Ladislas called Crossed. The rest of our stories will now cover decks that are on Kickstarter, with a couple ending soon. First, we had the successful campaign of Prototype V2s by Vincentry. The deck is a major complement to the streetwear aesthetic, which you can see has been a huge drive in the marketing material used for this deck. The deck was successfully funded with over 120% of their funding goal being made. The deck is estimated to be delivered around July of this year. He has also released a few cardistry tutorials, which we will link in the description of this video. Next, we have the Team Pinto deck by Aaron Pinto. Aaron Pinto is a card collector who is prominent in the community for engaging others. He is a real estate agent who wanted a real estate themed deck, and the deck features his logo to accentuate spins and houses donned on the corners of the cards to accentuate fanning. There are also a hollow foil gilded variant available only through the campaign. At the time of this recording, there are currently 3 days left to back this deck in the campaign. The deck has been successfully funded and with an estimated delivery date of November of this year. Now we have the Circle Game Edition by Nihilism decks. Nihilism is staying true to the minimalistic design by going with a circle instead of a cross, as some might say. The deck will maintain its black colorway and will be printed through the Hansen Chien production company and will feature the vintage stock and legendary finish. The deck is about to hit 200% of their funding goal with 18 days left to go. So congrats to Nihilism for another successful campaign. Now we have the Animal X playing cards with their first deck, Lou Edition, which features a fractal lion design with a light scale colorway and custom faces for the numbers and the courts. The campaign has had a slow momentum with the large campaign goal and is only around 10% of their funding goal, with less than 15 days left in the campaign. Next, we have Palm Tree playing cards by Sean McMagic, which features a very laid-back design and colorway inspired by the beach and, of course, palm trees. The decks will be printed with USPCC and will be shipped with Art of Play. The decks will also receive a crush stock if they reach their stretch goal, and the decks currently are reasonably priced, with the decks averaging less than $10 US a deck and even less than $7 for most of the early birds. So make sure to join in now, as the decks might retail for almost double the price if they make their funding. They are currently over 60% with less than 14 days left to go. Last of the decks that are currently on Kickstarter is the Cardistry Game. Years of planning, creating, fine-tuning, and marketing finally coming to its peak, and it's ready to release dueling experience for the cardistry community. The designs of the cards will feature the art style that Biz uses for his animation and comics. The campaign has gone live on June 18th, and you can back the campaign now. Duels have been scheduled for this week with CJ Ocampo, aka Buddha Belly Kids of Donnybrook Playing Cards, Carter McDiarmid, I apologize if I mispronounced that, and you can currently see that on IGTV. This week, duels have been scheduled for Civ Phase as well as December Boys, with a date to later be announced. The next few stories are decks that are going to come to Kickstarter, with some of the dates to be announced. The first deck will be the next installment of Elemental playing cards. Sticking to the theme of the periodic element, we have the element of carbon, taking the form of diamond and graphite. Both decks are fully custom, with the graphite version being designed by Luke Wadey of Luke Wadey Designs. The campaign is scheduled to go live on June 23rd, and we will update you once the campaign has started and as the campaign goes along. Lastly, we have Carbon Creations Card Company, also known as C4 Cards, with their newest deck designed by Lucas Mills, inspired by VHS. While the standard colorway has been chosen, they are also pushing a special pastel variant that might go on the campaign as a potential stretch goal. The date for the Kickstarter campaign is to be determined, but we will update you as soon as the date has been announced. And that concludes our news for this week. Make sure to follow our Instagram for daily news updates at Cardistry News. If this video was helpful to you, make sure to leave a like or a comment for what you like or disliked in the video, and make sure to hit that subscribe button. That way you don't miss the next episode. For now, we want to wish you an excellent rest of the week, and we'll see you next time.